Hello and welcome to another edition of Commando Gaming. We're going to continue our series on RogueTech. Basically, to give everybody an update, as you saw in the last episode, we suffered some pretty severe damage, and we are looking at um, doing some extensive repairs. So what I did is I went ahead and traveled to another planet um, while I was doing some repairs. And I've actually gotten quite a few additional mechs up and running, so we can use a little variety. But more importantly here, we should be getting to the point where we can run more continuous missions versus running a mission, repairing for a week, then running a mission. Um, Hopefully we're getting enough mechs operational that we can basically have two lances so that we can swap max out as they get damaged and they have to be repaired. Um, so hopefully we can increase our mission tempo as we continue to expand our mechs. So our Enforcer got a lot of damage last mission, so it's still being repaired. But I was able to get some additional ghosts online. Now they're not full ghosts because I need to, over time, acquire some electronic countermeasures for them, but they're still very capable mechs. Um, so we're going to be rolling in ghosts as needed to fill out my lances as we repair the rest of our lances. Plus, the enforcer is kind of underpowered. It doesn't have as much variety of weapons. It's a little on the slow side. Ideally, I would like to see the Enforcer go into like a secondary backup role for my mechs. So that being said, we transfer to another planet. We've got a pretty simple destroy base mission. We took a fair amount. We took an equal split between pay and salvage here because sometimes these missions involve, not the most salvageable mechs. So we're going to make sure we get some cash to continue to pay our bills. And let's just jump into this mission here. All right, as you can see, we're on a tropical planet here, so we're going to have to watch our heat. And we need to move in and destroy this base here. Looks like the garrison is going to be here in this valley, probably moving to advance as they detect us. And we have a body of ocean, so we could go along this side. Probably the best thing to do tactically would be to go up into this ridge and hopefully engage the enemy here or here as we advance on to destroying the base. I fully expect there be some reinforcements, maybe some reinforcements coming from here as we start to take out the base. I don't see any defenses on the base, so this is probably going to be a pretty much straight up mech fight, and then we go on to destroy the base, and then maybe deal with reinforcements as they come in. So we're going to take one of our ghosts in. Now this one has some of its sensors and stealth, so I made that my primary scout, even though it's not quote unquote fully loaded. Then I have Corsair, who's recovered from his injuries last video. He's going to be our second ghost. Now the second ghost is really just going to be a medium mech. I mean, he does have some counter measures, but not as much as a full ghost. And then we of course have our Lineal Wang. I don't like getting him into this spore area here, but it's early enough now that in this battle I don't think we're going to be under fire before we move again. Because those spores can really drastically increase the damage that you take. Alright. No enemies on the radar here, so we could continue to move up. Oh! Alright, we got some enemy. Oh, okay. So we got, wow, we got a lot of stuff on the board. So we got a Jenner, got a fire starter, we got a wasp, and then we do have turrets. So this thing is going to be a little trickier. Ooh, lots of turrets. So we're probably going to have to approach this very smartly, so we don't end up with a whole bunch of turrets piling up on us while we fight the mechs and vice versa. So let's see how this develops here. At the farthest I can fight the mech battle away from these turrets, probably the better. I got vision on this turret over here. Not a bad hit percentage. I might as well do that because I'm going to have to take out these turrets at some point. And the enemy kind of already knows where we are, so if we have an opportunity to take out some turrets, before we get in range, it's probably not the worst idea. Oh, interesting. So maybe if I do some long range shooting at these turrets, number one, it'll get the enemy to come after us, but we can also whittle down some of these turrets. So that might not be horrible if we just, right, see, here comes the Jenner. Ooh, pretty good hit from that Jenner. That Jenner's got some decent firepower on it. So it looks like the enemy's going to move forward. Oof. The enemy's definitely moving forward to engage us here. That's not a bad thing, actually. So we got a fire starter. I think I should try to keep working on these turrets. My Corsair's getting hit pretty hard by that. All right. That Jenner overheated. So I'd like to move Corsair in here. Now he's got these one-shot death blossoms. I want to see how they work, so let's just do a full salvo here. So that was a one-shot opportunity for those weapons. But it's still worth it because if I can try to get this Jenner out of the fight here pretty quickly, that means I can. Got a wasp. Not anything I can handle. Although Corsair's getting a fair amount of damage to his armor here. So we're going to want to be logical about that. gonna keep letting our hunchback keep working on this turret. Gonna have to move Corsair back at its next opportunity. See, those turrets are a real hassle. I mean, I would argue this turret that is causing us more damage actually than the mechs would at this point. Move our ghost back here. See if he can help out on this turret a little bit. All right, we got a turret down. Nice. Let's see if we can do some significant damage to this Jenner. All right, Jenner. It's not doing so good. Okay, so we can actually let our hunchback focus in on this fire starter, I think. So we don't get flanked here. Ha, that wasp had to get out of there because he was really getting overheated by the fire. All right. That turret I definitely need to get rid of, but it's a lot better than that sniper turret that was hitting us with AC fire. I'd like to see if we can do some damage to this turret. What? Let's see. I don't want to get in vision of that other turret right there, but I would like to see if we can finish off this wasp. It already had critical heat. And this ghost can maybe do some multi-target, so we can do our missiles, and then the rest can hit this fire starter. Hunchback can keep focusing on this fire starter here. This wasp is really overheating. Got that tower. Luckily the range is pretty bad, so he couldn't do too much damage to us. do some multi-targeting here so we can do the missiles, and then the rest will go in on this fire starter. All right, nice. See if we can use our upgraded Centurion, maybe save the AC-20 ammo. See if we can finish off this Wasp here. Those Wasps are pretty tough. And then I'm going to move my Ghost up. I really like to get this turret taken care of before we advance. For exactly that reason. Because he's doing a number on our mechs here. Hunchback can't help with that, so we'll just see if he can't finish off this Wasp. Not really excited about salvage on a Wasp, so let's just finish him off. Right, so that's it for the garrison. We're just going to be really smart about seeing if we can't take out these turrets before we move forward. All right, that turret's gone. Oh, he agrees with me. So now we just have 2 turrets we need to deal with. All right, so hopefully... So what I want to do is I want to stage everybody below this hill where the turret doesn't have vision on us. There's no hurry here, so we might as well... Actually, the Hunchback... No, if it goes here, there, then he's going to get stuck. So let's just set him up here. We're going to reserve Omega. We're going to move Corsair here. And he actually has... those hit ratios are not very good, so we're just going to go ahead and save. There's no real reason to rush. And now this is going to be rough because we're going to have be in the vision of both of these targets. So we're going to want to take out these turrets as quickly as possible. That's why I set this up. So we're going to have strikes by multiple mechs here. Just try to get these turrets as quickly as possible. Minimize our damage. Good. Turret destroyed. Now, I'm almost certain that, from my experience, that as soon as I start inflicting damage on this last turret, we're probably going to get reinforcements. That usually seems to be the trigger for reinforcements to come out. Now, Corsair should have a better hit percentage now because we have multiple mechs in vision. All right, there goes the last turret. So you could see how having good strategy in this mission is critical. Um, if I had just gone charging up there and fought the turrets and the mechs at the same time, I probably would have been able to succeed in the mission, but I would have had a lot more damage. And as you know, we are a business and we want to keep damage to a minimum. So now we're just going to have each mech select a building to target. And it doesn't look like we're going to have reinforcements, which means I can probably get out of this with minimal repairs needed, which would be very nice. All right, hopefully we can just finish off these buildings. All right, we should be able to get picked up right now. All right. So I'm glad I didn't go heavy on the salvage here because, again, we might get a couple weapons, but I don't think we're going to get very much of quality salvage out of this. Um, so we've got minimal damage here, just some armor, minimal damage here, just some armor, fair amount of armor here that has to be replaced, and a little bit of armor. So I think this is going to be like 3 or 4 days worth of repairs. So we got a classic fire starter. Kind of a downgraded Jenner. Um, a wasp. Eh. Lots of small lasers. Armor primitive. I mean, I don't know how exciting that is. So we're not going to get a lot here, so I don't know. These mechs don't really help me. I mean, yeah, I can sell them for salvage, but I'll probably get a couple when we randomly have stuff aside. I'll take this primitive armor. And the rest is a bunch of small lasers, so I guess I will take the Jenner parts here. And it looks like we got all the parts, all the mech parts. We got a bunch of small lasers. So, it is what it is. And I'm going to guess that we had like maybe 4 or 5 days of repairs. But I'm not going to let Yang just start on them because I think I need to take a minute to look at each mech and see if there aren't any upgrades that we can do. Because I've kind of gotten to the point now that I have enough mechs that I can actually probably do simultaneous missions at this point. Right? That game load, that return to the Argo was pretty quick. Right? So I did get a Jenner out of it. I did get a Wasp out of it. We need 6 days for repairs. I'm going to say no, because I want to look at each mech individually. I had some feedback on the channel that people wanted us to see some more mech repair work. So let's kind of do that right now. Those of you that aren't interested in that, you can certainly fast forward. All right, so is there anything more we can put on this mech? Don't know. Five times 3, 10 times 5. So I can actually take this jackhammer off and I can replace it with a chainsaw. As long as it's going to be repaired anyways, because the chainsaw has 5 times 10 damage instead of 3 times 10 damage. So that's a slight upgrade in firepower, as you can see. It's also lighter, so it's 2 tons versus it's about the same. So I don't know if there's much more I can cram into this because I want to not get too low on the armor. So that's 4 days of repair. Okay, so our Hunchback needs some minor repairs, I think. Well, the Hunchback is good. It just has a ton of weapons ability that we can throw on it. But I really don't have. The only thing I can do is put on. See, I could put on a chainsaw, but then it's going to be too high. So yeah, we'll just kind of back out of that. Wait, let me go back in real quick. Sorry. I just want to make sure we've maxed out our armor. Okay, so we can actually add a ton of armor. Not a bad thing. Okay, so I've got 3 ghosts that are ready to go. I do have a Irby that's available. Let's look at these mechs that I recovered and see if it makes sense to do these repairs. So, I mean, there's a lot of damage here. So I can salvage this medium laser. Can salvage this medium laser. Can salvage this medium laser. Jump jets I really don't need. Heat sinks I don't need to spend the money on repairing. So basically I just do this and that'll take no time. And then I'll have 3 more medium lasers, which I could use. And then I'm going to go ahead and scrap this guy. Because I wouldn't want to spend all the money on refitting him. So let's do the same thing on this wasp. Is there anything worth salvaging? I can take this 120 core. Not really a very useful engine, but it is an engine. I could maybe do some repairs here to get this heat sink, but you know what? It's really not. I have a fair amount of heat sinks right now, so really the only thing I could take out of there is that engine. And then we're going to go ahead and scrap this again. So that gives us some decent salvage. And let's, now that I have four mechs that are available, so let's take another mission. Like I said before, this is where it's going to get interesting. All right, so we've got a pretty straightforward Trappist Sprung mission. Sometimes these will give decent salvage. So I'll take 2 and 8 salvage, and I'll take almost 400 C-bills, 400,000 C-bills. Then what we're gonna do, we need to replace my pilots, which is good because we can get the BT some experience here. So we've got a ghost, another ghost. Now keep in mind these ghosts are like partial ghosts. They don't have full stealth capabilities, and they don't have the same electronic suite, but they have some. So then it comes to, do I want to take a Irby or do I want to take this Firefly? Yeah, I guess I could take the Firefly. So I've got 3 ghosts and a Firefly. Hopefully this will load up pretty quickly. Maybe we can get 3 missions into this video. So this is a nice change to our situation because now we're able to do consecutive missions. Um, and it's a catch-22, so right? So I could have probably spent 400,000 to get that Jenner working and maybe 200,000 to get that Wasp working. But what value does it bring to the table? When I have a fairly good assortment of medium mechs, why would I want to get some small mechs going? Now, you could argue that the light mech could be a scout for me, but I already have ghosts, which actually make really good scouts. So I don't know if I see the value in spending all that money to get mechs available that are downgrades, if you will. All right, so we know this is probably going to be a trap here. So this is where the target is. So I know this map pretty well. So of looking at this map strategically, sometimes if you're completely outnumbered, you can go in here and let the enemy come in at you one or two at a time. I've done that before. I've also taken sniper positions up on this ridge and engaged an enemy from long range. Um, so those options are on the table, but what we're going to do right now is see if we can get vision on our target, stay together, make sure that we're using cover. So we've got our Firefly here. I mean, I was tempted to just take the Irby here, but the Irby actually has lower firepower than this Firefly. So one good thing about the Ghosts is they're actually fairly fast for their size. So, all right, here comes the reinforcements. We knew that was going to happen. So, does it tell me where okay, so the reinforcements are there. So, what I'm actually going to do, we got a Cattle Master, probably a couple more. So, what I should probably do here is move to engage these reinforcements. And also I got vision on this ranger is so it's a vehicle that's the enemy unit. Hmm, interesting. Maybe there was some bad intelligence here, but in any event, we'll deal with that later. We got bad hit percentages on these vehicles. So we're just going to reserve here. So I think what I can actually do is I can send 3 units, or maybe do 2 and 2. I don't like to separate my lance, but I like being flanked a lot less. Yeah, that cattle master's really not a threat. So maybe what I'll do is I'll send my Firefly and my 1 Ghost after this vehicle. All right, so that vehicle has an AC on it, so that vehicle is definitely the most dangerous weapon I've seen so far in this game. So we're going to move our ghost up here. See if we can take out this vehicle. See if we can take out this vehicle that has the AC-20. Now, one thing this Ghost is armed with is a chaff missile launcher. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but what it does do is it scrambles the sensors of the vehicle with AC-20 or the AC. It might not be an AC-20. It might be an AC-10. Not sure. All right, so let's keep working on that vehicle because this vehicle really has the biggest concerns. So we got our Death Blossoms here. Those are one-shot missile launchers. Let's go ahead and use those. See how that AC shot missed? Probably some of that was due to the chaff that we launched at it. All right, so let's move this Firefly up. Hopefully take out this vehicle. Keep working on this primary target. It is over armored, whatever it is. Luckily, it only has small lasers. Keep working on this vehicle. Another AC-10 shot, but that should be the last because I think we can. Strider here can finish off this vehicle. Should be able to. No. These vehicles are just sometimes frustratingly overly armored. But let's keep working on our primary target here. All right. See, the Cattle Master's trying to distract us from destroying the vehicle, but we're not going to go for that because the Cattle Master's not really that much of a threat. Finally, we take that vehicle out. All right, so that was our primary target. So that's off. So let's keep working around. We don't have to worry about being flanked anymore. So let's keep working around to this primary target. Vehicle destroyed. we got a little heat damage there. All right, now we can all kind of, wait, 33% of the reinforcements. Where's this other reinforcement? Interesting. Oh well, we'll deal with that later. Now we can really gang up on this cattle master, which is already pretty. Oh, we got another vehicle here. It's a AC2 armed. All right, so at least the firefly is acting as a pretty effective distraction. So let's see if we can move this ghost so it can take out this vehicle here, or start working on it. Strider can. We can start attacking this cattle master from all directions at this point. Not that I particularly want salvage from a cattle master, so I'm not too worried about that. So we're going to do a vigilance here with and cool that one down. Do some multi-target here, hopefully. So we're going to do missiles and everything else. The Firefly has pulse lasers on it. I need to cannibalize that Firefly. See if our ghost can finish off this vehicle. This vehicle is actually the most dangerous thing left on the map right now. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to use the Firefly as well. See if we can get this guy out of the battle before he shoots. All right. Done. All right, now we're down to one opponent. Should be nice and cool now, so alright, he's gonna do the same thing to me, try to shoot me in the back. We're gonna do the same thing to him. Now he's really in a world of hurt because it's 4 against 1, including everybody getting rear shots on him. There we go. That does that. All right, that should be the mission there. Hopefully there'll be 1 or 2 pieces of decent salvage. All right, so we got a little bit of armor repair here, nothing serious. We're not going to get a ton of great salvage here. All right, so this engine core is actually not bad salvage. So I guess we'll take the Cattlemaster apart because it's technically the best thing I can salvage, and we got some decent salvage out of that. Not too bad for a 1 skull mission. And this is how we're actually going to be able to build up our sea bills, actually, by increasing our operational tempo, and then we can pretty effectively, when we do have decent salvage, is spend the time on repairing that salvage. Kind of like how I did with the ghosts. It took me, a game month to get those ghosts up to speed, but now that we have them, okay. All right, so we got 3 days of repairs for $7,100, $400. I'm going to say no here because there's a couple things I want to do. So let's go into the mech bay. So one thing I noticed on this Firefly is it's got actually pulse lasers on it. And double heat sinks. Got a medium pulse, 3 medium pulses, and an AMS. So what I need to do is I want to cannibalize some stuff out of this mech. So we're going to take out the double heatsink kit. We're going to take out the double heat sinks. We're going to take out the case. We're going to take out the medium pulses. We're going to take out the AMS. And we're going to take out the ammo for the AMS. All right, so we're going to do that. Like so. And that'll be done immediately. Then we can go back into the Firefly here. And I'm gonna oh, you know, it also has endo steel. We're gonna take that out. We'll give it primitive armor. And we'll put some heat sinks in there. And we need to give this thing kind of throwaway weapons here. Oh, I can give it medium laser. I mean, throwaway is kind of a misnomer. It's still going to have medium lasers. It's just not going to have the firepower that it had before. Small laser on there. Ironically, I can put a chainsaw on it. Why not? Huh. So maybe take one of these medium lasers off and just give it two small lasers there. It's not going to be the most powerful mech by any stretch of the imagination. I have to take a little bit of armor off. A little bit of armor off. Okay, so one thing we're missing here is SRM ammo. So let's see what there is at the store. Ooh, that's nice. All right, so we got some weapons upgrades here. So let's apply those We're gonna take maybe take this chaff off, and okay, so we're gonna take that off. That won't work. We can add this SRM ammo. You know what? We'll keep the chaff on there. It's kind of a unique weapon. So our tonnage for a medium laser is 1. What is our tonnage again for the pulse? 2. So if I take off this light PPC, I take off one of these medium lasers, and I do a medium pulse there, medium pulse there. And what I want to do is I want to add endosteel, which gives me some more weight. Then I want to do the double heatsink kit. And I could put in double heat sinks. And my energy efficiency goes way up. Then I put AMS on. I'd have to go in the arms. I'm not crazy about that. So we'll keep the AMS off. We'll just increase our armor. And we've done a good job of actually increasing the firepower on this mech. It'll take 7 days. I'm okay with that. Now this one is just under strength, so let's see. Can I do stealth on this one? No, I can't do stealth yet. Let's see, I could put some case on here. Probably a good idea. And I can change one of these medium lasers to a medium pulse. And I could put on a jackhammer for some melee and max out the armor. Let's see. Check the store. There's some components that I probably want to buy. I want to buy this UAV before I forget about it. Buy this case. And we're probably going to come back here and do some more purchases before we leave this planet. All right, so I think we can leave this ghost alone for now. And let's kind of engineer this so we can get a group of vehicles ready to fight as quickly as possible. So in a couple days, we can be ready for another mission. So I think all my pilots are actually tired, so they need a couple days of rest. Regardless. All right, we're not going to spend 2.5 million for access to the black market. Let's check out the barracks. We should have the A team available here, so for the most part, we're going to just be doing some gunnery enhancements here. All right, it's a pretty significant increase in our gunnery. Should have, yeah, I mean, I got 2 ghosts and I've got an enforcer and I've got a hunchback and a Irby. I can probably do a relatively simple mission here. So we got a bodyguard mission here. I think I can handle that. Bodyguard mission should be a good chance at some salvage. So let's max out the salvage on this one. Because one of the good things about a bodyguard mission is the fact that the opponents are going to be focused on attacking who you're defending and not necessarily you. So let's get our A team in here. And we'll get one last mission in here before we end this video. So we'll just let this. Those of you that are looking for a lot of action in these videos, we're still going to get 3 missions in on this video. I know I did some mech repair and other items in this video. That was per a request that I had that people wanted to see some more of the mech maintenance in the videos. So tell me if you liked seeing that in the videos or if you want to go back to more action-oriented videos. Keep in mind, we're still getting in 3 missions on this video, so it's not like we're ignoring the action. I'm just trying to mix in some mech maintenance along with the action. So give you a more realistic feel for the gameplay. I do regret now. I should have kind of scavenged that Firefly a little earlier because there's some good weapons on that thing that I wish I would have had on the other mechs while the Firefly was just sitting in my mech bay. But hey, sometimes that's how you learn. Alright, so we'll keep prepping for combat here. Okay, so basically this VIP defense missions are always basically a just defend the base type mission. And they're going to give us point defense to help us, so that's great. And this is actually a pretty good base defense map. I've seen some that are a lot worse. So we should be able to simply pre-position our mechs where they can do the most damage, hopefully. And like I said, these are great missions for um, salvage. Okay. So I know at some point there's going to be an attack here, so let's put a mega here. Did I? Let's get him, see if he can actually do some... We missed by 3%. Oof, not a good shot from the hunchback there. I can probably... Oh, all right, so I got some other customers here. So I got a wasp and another wasp. So right now this wolfhound is the biggest threat. So let's try to see if we can get this wolfhound beaten up here. All right, so our defensive platforms are now live. So they're going to give us some support. All right, wolfhound's trying to get in range of... Oh, so we upset the wolfhound to the point that it's gone from attacking the buildings to attacking us, which is fine. All right, I'm going to move Omega away from his sector briefly to see if we can bring some fire in on this wasp. Should be okay for a little while. think we can do the same thing with the enforcer here. See, the biggest problem with the enforcer is that his AC always jams. And then I end up with a weapon with a mech that is underpowered because it just has a couple medium lasers. So that is a little frustrating. Let's get a better angle on this wolfhound here. Good hit percentages. Good hits there. All right, now we got our fire support coming into play. This is why these are great salvage missions. Ooh, those are some very powerful turrets. This is going to be a pretty easy mission, I think. All right, we can keep putting in fire on this wasp here. And keep going after this wolfhound. Wouldn't mind doing a offensive push here because the wolfhound is actually pretty good salvage. All right, he ejected. So I can get some decent salvage on that wolfhound. It's a light mech, but it's pretty good for its size. All right. Now that wolfhound's out of the way, we can cycle over to this wasp. Pretty good hit at range. All right, the Enforcer's AC-10 is now back online. Of course, we missed. That missile launcher has Inferno missiles. Nice. There goes that wasp, I believe. Yep. There goes that wasp. So we'll still see at least probably one more. Okay, where did those guys get dropped off? I think they got dropped off over here. So we're going to have to switch to the other side of the map, which has less weapon support. So let's reposition in that direction. All right, there's our targets. Looks like 2 vehicles and 2 mechs. A spider. Let's try to get the hunchback to where it'll be in position next round to get involved with this fight. Same thing with the enforcer. Hopefully these defenses will wear this guy down a little bit. We got some fire starter. Okay, let's see what the defenses can start doing. We got 2 cow. We got quite a few mechs on the field now. This is going to be turned into a real battle here. Ooh, there's a trebuchet. I wouldn't mind getting salvage on a trebuchet for sure. Alright. Trebuchet is probably the best salvage and the biggest threat, so let's focus on that as much as we can. Here comes the pain from the trebuchet. That spider is not shooting, which makes me very nervous that there's a legitimate possibility that that spider could have a suicide bomb strapped to it. We've seen it before. All right, this enforcer should be in a really good spot to get some decent percentage shots. Not a good example, but it's got the high ground here. Alright, that fire starter really didn't do that much there. I don't like to use a whole mech on this spider, but I'm really concerned. Let's maybe do a little multi-target here. Trying to keep these guys at distance from the buildings, which is the primary objective of this mission, right? Sometimes that means you have to go after less powerful mechs because they can still take down a building pretty easily. And time's on our side, literally. Good strike on that stinger there. They really want to take out those APCs. Let's see if we could just finish off this fire starter here. Of course, my primary weapon is jammed again. All right, let's do the same thing we did before. Do some split fire. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . There we go. Nice if we could take out this trebuchet here. Not quite. See if we can finish off this fire starter here. All right. That flank is now secure. Get some more fire on this trebuchet. Oof. All right. Hopefully he'll pay for that right now. All right, there goes one of our APCs. All right, there goes that trebuchet. Do some work on this Irby. This Cattle Master. Get some more fire in on this Irby. Irby's still got his AC-20 going. Okay, he ejected. Gonna be a little more aggressive here. Really like to see if we can get rid of this Irby. There we go. Yep, it had an AC-20 on it. Absolutely. Ooh, that Stinger's gotten close enough to actually do some damage. So we're gonna have to make him pay. See that Bessie has a decent AC on it. Maybe an AC2. All right, now we got one target left. See if we can finish this Bessie off. All right, mission successful. So we got minimal damage on our mechs. And we've got some pretty good salvage here. So I think that was a successful run. So we got a nice little bump because there was some pretty significant enemy destruction there. We got some nice salvage opportunities here. At first glance, I probably have to take this. I can get a full trebuchet out of this. So, unless something much better appears, I think that's something I have to do. There's case, there's some endo steel. I think for our needs, we'll take the endo steel and roll the dice on the rest of it. Wow, we got a whole bunch of mechs. Not horrible. We got a whole bunch of medium lasers, which I can use. Very profitable mission for almost no damage to our mechs. So I'm happy about that. We'll see how rough that trebuchet is and how much it would take me to get it up to speed. It did take quite a bit of damage before we took it out. Hopefully this won't take that long to load. So that was a eventful mission. We got some really nice salvage, possibly another medium, although we'll see how expensive it is to fix that trebuchet. It's probably going to be worth it. I mean, I like trebuchets well enough when you could put them in a support role, but if you're in a situation, and I have been before with RogueTech, where you're using a trebuchet as like your heavy mech, like your strongest mech, it doesn't work out very well. It doesn't really have a lot of firepower that you can direct firepower you can strap on it. Plus, when it is the primary target of the enemy, it doesn't hold up very well. Okay. All right, so we got the trebuchet. We got 2 days of repairs. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes to that. And when you say yes to that, what it does is it actually takes the mechs that were just damaged and puts them to the top of the stack, which is generally what you want to do. Let's take a look real quick before we end this video. We're not going to do any more fighting in this video, so if you're just tuning in to watch the fighting, feel free to step away. Let's see what we have left on this trebuchet to see if it's what we can do to repair it. It actually has a decent amount of its internal still available. So if we repair here, and we repair here, not bad. We repair here, repair here, repair here. We're going to take out jump jets because I don't see the value in jump jets, especially on a support mech. Replace this, repair this, and replace that. Wow, this is not so bad at all, I gotta say. We can actually put together a pretty solid mech here. So first of all, I need to do I need an engine core. I think a 250 engine core will work. We're going to, can it take stealth? No, it can take endo steel though. So we'll put in some endo steel. All right. Can put in some patchwork materials, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's got a double heat sink kit too. So if I put in a heat sink, this actually would be a good mech for me to put AMS on. Put on some LRMs. Okay, so this use. All right, so the sucker's got a whole bunch of medium missiles and ammo for medium missiles. So it's got AMS. Maybe I put on another double heat sink here. And we max out the armor. It's going to take 16 days, but then I'm going to have a pretty solid weapons platform. Let's make sure that goes to the bottom of the list. That's going to be a long-term project to get that trebuchet going. Maybe the next time I travel. But that's pretty awesome. You know what, we'll put the Firefly on the bottom of the list. Okay, so we're doing some significant work at improving our mechs. So we're probably 2 days away from being able to go on another mission. Which is good because I'll have my B team ready for a mission at that point. So that works out pretty good. We've got some good mechs in development. So what we'll do is we'll just end this video here. And I'll do the rest of the work on those mechs in the background. And then we'll be able to get in some gameplay on the next video, which should be within a day or so. So if you enjoy these videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be advised when our next video drops, which again should be in a day or so. Talk to you soon.